roll call.
Okay, we'll take the roll call. Jason Mansmith.
Here.
Jolene Schatzinger is not here. Desiree Bongers is not here. Travis Liptow.
I'm here.
And Amanda Prezibel.
Here.
Yay, we have a quorum.
Riley did send out meeting minutes the last time earlier today. If you did receive those, it'll give you a chance to look over those. Otherwise, I'll obtain a motion to approve.
So moved.
That's Amanda on the move. Can a second?
Second.
Travis on the second. All those, discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Let's review the 2021 budget. Anything you need to highlight in there, Ryan?
Well, it looks like we're right on schedule, even though these numbers look like they're blown out of proportion. Part of it is that we have a new way of displaying them in the budget readout that we didn't do in the past. And instead of having a journal entry, the amount of money that we had considered as a carryover is attached directly. And if we discount the carryover numbers, our total is at 92% for the year, and we're at 92% of the fiscal year elapsed, so we're right on target.
And then, do we ever get like income on, in what we get in the, I don't see the general fund for.
The income's shown also, you have to scroll down.
Okay.
You have to scroll down.
I don't know if
a
that
bit.
came in the financials that Karen sent or not, so.
I don't know if it came in
Yeah.
those. I don't know if it
So I
came.
only just have the general fund one with all the expenditures, so.
Okay, yeah, the, year to date, we've pulled in $7,739.26 from Hometown Broadcasting. The most recent payment was $34,1838, and Todd and Nick say that that's going to be higher, but they'd already cut the check based on the beginning of the year, so it'll be made up in future payments.
And how are revenues looking for in terms of like actual subscribers from cable? They don't share that information with us?
They don't tell us anything.
Yeah, it's like that. Okay.
They just give us the quarterly
Quarterly payment, yeah.
and I think that's, on average, been under 20.
Okay,
You could back engineer it a little bit. We're currently at, the franchise that they collect now, I think, is at 4%. So if they give us 80,000, it's, that's 4% of
right.
a couple 100,000.
Okay.
Or a couple, 200. Yeah.
Any questions on the budget for Riley for 2021? Hearing none, I'll obtain a motion to approve the budget financials. Guess I can make that motion. Second.
Yeah, I'll second
All
that.
right, Amanda on the second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion carries. We'll receive reports. Riley, we'll turn it over to you for a little bit.
Well, hi Jolene.
Hi.
We're well on the way for basketball and looking good. Games are on the air. We just today received our first Ripon College music concert in some time. It has taken a while, but proper amount of grease has been applied in proper locations, and they sent us a recorded file from one of the concerts, which is great.
Say more about that. Can I help facilitate anything?
Well,
It sounds like
possibly.
it sounds like you have, am I reading between the lines that you've asked, I mean, what can I?
I have asked several times
Okay.
and received responses that are along the lines of, yes, that's great, and maybe we can share on the drive, and then nothing happens. And it could just be inertia. It could be people that are busy with other things besides sending programs to us. So,
I didn't know if there's any copyright issues or anything, but I can also, again, let me know if there's anything I can do to help facilitate.
really all it is replacing concerts that we used to go and record ourselves. And when Denver was upgraded and they installed cameras like these, then I presumed and had an understanding that we'd be able to get those files, and then that hasn't happened. I
But
think,
we did get
I think really there are a variety of reasons. It's not one single thing, it's not one single person. But we just got one, that's the good part.
And you'll be showing it.
Yes, it's already up on YouTube, and I'll put it up on the server here for cable, either tonight or tomorrow.
Great. All right, anything else?
What else did we do? Oh, we went to Murray Park for the Veterans Day program, and went to the high school gym for the Veterans Day program, and went to Murray Park for the Christmas program, and all the public school concerts.
And quick question with those, I bet those would get some good, play on social media. Are we able to share links?
They have
That-
big viewership numbers.
Yep.
Yes. Sure, we can share links. And Whitney posts up when they go live.
Is Whitney on?
No, I don't have a
Oh,
motion
okay.
either, so.
Because I could imagine grandparents sharing on their social media before the holidays and
Oh, we get
getting
the-
some Ripon Channel.
They're some of the
Name
biggest
out there.
view numbers.
Right, okay.
And really, high school basketball and those concerts are big, well, and the elementary events too. Those are the big numbers that we get. And we've had a substantial, well, this is getting ahead, so,
Oh,
that's about it.
no problem. Feel free to get ahead if you want.
Well, okay, we've had a pretty large jump in subscribers just this month. We've gone up nearly 100 subscribers in the last 3 weeks,
Right.
which is great, maybe because of sports, I don't know, but it's good. When we get to 1,000, we can begin to monetize some of our
Mhm.
content.
Correct. And we're at,
600.
boy, I think that should be like a push right now to
Yeah.
let's invite as many people as we can, and do you have credentials obviously on that page to make those invites, or does Whitney have those as well, or is that something that we can help you without as the committee, that we can just start inviting people to?
Sure.
Because, I mean, if we can get into this situation where they're monetizing some things now, that would be
We're at 628 right now.
extremely helpful, so.
That's a good point, Jason. And I could imagine a post thanking, hey, thank you for the new recent subscribers. Keep sharing it with your
Right.
group, or,
Right. Right. Maybe we should put a slide like that in all of our broadcasts. If you like this, subscribe.
Not a big
I would think we'd
deal.
probably want to put that in our role on the channel too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, absolutely.
That's a good idea. Is that your official to-do list? That's a great idea.
That's on the list, yes, yes.
As we look at some of our goals and plans for 2022, make sure to add that. All right, anything in terms of operations, legislative, or public feedback as well?
No,
Any word on the payment from the state that was gonna make up for extra budget?
Well, they did do that, they did pass it, so it was put in the 20,
Right. But no
22
official
budget.
dollars have come in towards that yet?
didn't they say they were going to send that by the end of July of '22?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yep, so,
Okay.
yep. Just like an estimate, I can't remember the exact amount, but,
It's right around 20.
mhm.
Okay. Good. Any other things you want to add for reports, or we can move on to discussion items?
No, it's good.
All right. Staffing update?
Same.
So we added a few other announcers in as well.
Oh, well, yes, I guess, I'm sorry, I don't consider them staff, they're casuals. But yes, we have had an announcer change, and we have 3 new basketball announcers this year. Jason and Stuart Atkinson from Oshkosh, and Lynn Krause from Ripon. Well, I guess 4, and Nick Van Knocker has helped us. So we have an entirely new mix of announcers in our sports broadcasting, and it's nice, it's fresh, it's different.
Great to be in the presence of one right now.
Something like that, so I appreciate that. And then still Chris and Cole and yourself?
Yes.
Correct. overwhelmed, or are we comfortable on the?
I think we're good.
On the staffing level? Okay.
I think we're good.
Question about the announcers. Are we stating at the games as per request to, subscribe to Ripon Channel? And is that something we want to add, or? is it
I
appropriate?
think there's some of that when they remember. I think Marty's really good about getting that in there every now and then, and maybe that's just something we can, standardly put into the mix, so.
I'm gonna say, I don't know that I've heard anyone say subscribe.
Well, probably we haven't
People-
told them, is my
People-
point, right?
People will say, if you wanna see it, you can look at, and sometimes the language gets a little bit modified and changed, but they'll suggest that you can go to the YouTube page to watch the game.
Okay.
Or watch it on channel 987. But I'm not sure that I've heard the word subscribe.
Well, if you need a copy or something like that, just let me know. I'll type you up something and get it out to everybody if need be. That's not a problem, so.
It's great because they probably won't know, they wouldn't know. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily think someone would naturally think subscribe unless we
Sure.
tell them. So
Yeah.
that's great.
One thing we really could stand to do is work with Hometown and have Hometown work with the underwriters and talk about editing the length of some of these reads.
Okay.
If there's a way to drive business in fewer than 15 seconds per read, that would be just great, because there are lots and lots of them. They can be done, and I think our guys are doing a very good job of getting all the reads in, but it's challenging sometimes.
We can make that connection. We can make that happen. Any other questions for Riley on staffing updates? We can move on to 2022 goals and plans. This is something we wanted to kind of just bring in here and just talk about some additional ideas for programming or things that we'd like to do. And obviously, I think as we add the up subscribers, on that YouTube side of things, but if there's other things that we'd like to see, or there's other ideas, and just kind of maybe set some of those so we can check in, with ourselves, throughout the year to see if that's able to be done, if it's a possibility, if it's not a possibility, right? So, these are just kind of an idea of what we would maybe like to see in addition to anything. So, obviously, I think, more non-traditional revenue for the channel is, is a top priority, right? So, and we've been able to do that now for 1 year, where we've actually had some revenue coming in outside of what we typically would get in terms of revenue. So continuing that and growing that, I think, would be of importance.
Oh, I agree. And I agree. And I think that part of it's going pretty well too. It really has only been a year. And
Right.
so for a first year program,
That's $7,000 more than we've had before.
from our side, we feel like it's pretty good.
Right. In terms of additional programming ideas, I just sketched a few down here, just some ideas of what I think might be beneficial for the community. We see all of the committee meetings, we see all of the council meetings and those kind of things. And I'm not gonna necessarily look to add them, but a city administrative report would be something that, maybe once a month, we could get him in for 15 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is to maybe chat about that if he has time. I understand that schedule is super busy, but I'd like to also maybe see that, maybe the council president as well, whoever that may be coming up after, the next election, or just those things coming in there, and the mayor's report. I'd be happy to do a chamber report, those kind of things. And that's even stuff that I can record in my office and just send you, right? If need be, or if you wanted to come on site to do, but just to have a little bit more of that in there, because I think people can watch the meetings and then, read about it and stuff, but I think that short little review or recap of that might be a little bit more helpful to them. We don't want to make it 30 minutes,
Yeah.
because we're gonna,
No,
you're gonna lose interest
they
quick.
could be 5-minute
Right,
videos.
5 minutes would be great, little vignettes of what's available, so. I think those would be some nice.
I like those ideas, and that's all very achievable.
Right.
Adam, have you given any more thought to to the idea of a tour around, looking inside various departments of the city?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just have to get over some things before I can commit to doing anything. I'm not trying to get out of it.
Right.
I think it's something that we need to do. But there are a couple other priorities that need to get on board before. So,
Okay.
I think in terms of if we can, utilizing the technology that we have invested in this year to make that easy, or to create more content, however it may be, would be just my request on it. So it's not, it's just, if it's in the field or it's mobile or whatever, we just go and do it, and get it done.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yes, that's something that I think would be good. So there's always things we can show.
Okay,
I think it's gonna become important to show some things as things come up.
sure. Well, those sorts of videos would be something that I'd expect that we'd take a camera and gear to the location. And the only burden on the department would be that we'd be there walking around for a while.
Yeah, I think if we just get in some rhythm or schedule too with it, that'd be great,
Okay,
Is that something maybe during 2022 we develop somewhat of a content calendar for the channel? Like, we'd like to do this in, this month, or, those kind of things, and we can maybe space that out if the kind of the scheduling allows. That way we can at least look at it and say, okay, yeah, we're scheduled to do this in this month, let's take a look at what, if we're gonna have the availability to do that, and how we can get that done, if it's at that time.
maybe we could start with the water department, because we had this
Right.
recent kerfuffle,
Right.
and it looks like upgrades are
Yeah,
on the way. New director, that might be a great place to start.
there's plenty of places, so, yeah.
Okay.
My thoughts are, it's a little bit, at first, I want to say that I think by featuring the different departments, I mean, obviously, taxpayers are helping to fund it, right? I mean, this would be important to help for engagement, for people to understand who city officials are. But at another level, so at first it just sounds like, okay, let's just go in and show what we show. But at another level, this is going to be on YouTube, this is perhaps shareable content, and people moving to the city, looking at this, will be judging us off of this. So, it does beg the question of, this maybe should be more polished than what the first thought is of just, let's go in, let's show what we show, we'll walk around. But, I mean, if we're looking at it as how people can understand city officials, that's nice, but if we're looking at that now we're portraying an image of a city, we may want to think about, again, how are you introducing people? How are you editing this? It might be a bigger project, theoretically. I mean, it's worth a conversation.
I agree completely, and don't misunderstand my words by saying that we'd go in and shoot what we need to shoot and then leave, and the department wouldn't need to worry about that. That doesn't mean that we'd be taking it casually and just throwing stuff up there. Because you're right, you're exactly right, that it will be putting out an image of the city and
Yeah.
sort of showing the insides that people don't necessarily see. You're exactly right that it would need to be a good product.
So we have what we call relocation packets at the chamber where, people are looking to come to the community, we have all this information available to them, right? So this becomes now a digital video package of that. We can say, hey, we'll give you all this stuff, but now you can take a look at this video too, that's gonna be able to help those things. So I like the idea of just kind of like showcasing the city in those things and making it as good as possible. Like, I dip into the Fond du Lac, community access channel every once in a while, and they kind of have some of their departments on there. Now, they've been recorded 10 or 12 years ago, so it's not, the greatest, and a lot of things have probably changed since then. But I think it's still, people are still interested in at least looking at it from time to time.
Sure.
and checking in on that, so. I think if we can kind of create some kind of schedule or content that we'd like to see, and, departments that we'd like to talk to, so we can kind of create that, then that's a good direction for us to go. The more informed, the more transparent we can be at this level, right? The best, so.
Great. That could be, so that fits right in with your 2022 goals.
Yeah, absolutely. So just kind of getting that city content in addition to some of the entertainment content that we have as well. Any other thoughts on goals? And obviously this is, evergreen. We can just keep throwing things at it throughout the year and ideas to keep reviewing on it. But I think maybe I'll just kind of create a document that we share amongst us, that if we've got ideas or things that we'd like to keep on schedule or on task with, that we have that in front of us, so we can kind of look at that every month and review it every time we meet, and see where we're at in the progress of those things.
Is there room on there for local business to, I know in the past there's been talks about highlights of businesses, but also paid content, almost paid advertising. I understand that advertising with Ripon Channel may not be worth their time as advertising with other venues as much, but depending on it, is there something that you've tried in the past related to that? Is there anything there?
The most that we've tried in the past has been sports underwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And we did have some success for a little while, but it was difficult to sustain because it takes a great deal of time and energy to go solicit the underwriting ourselves and then make the content.
Yeah.
And it turned into a full-time job, and we don't have that. But yes, we have room for paid content. And if someone had content that they wanted us to play, that was business promotions that they wanted us to play, we could do that.
I guess I was just thinking, it would be neat if I'm not getting out as much, if I'm maybe seeing a local business feature, that even some of our retail businesses, but then how do you pick and choose? So my guess is perhaps you'd have to charge something if they want to be, quote, featured. There's other ways you could think about who you choose. I didn't know if that was even something that's valuable.
That's a good point, because unless you asked about how we're doing with scheduling and staff time, and right now, we're okay. But unless we rearranged our priorities and changed our program mix substantially, we would start being very pushed for time if we started shooting things like that.
Yeah.
And that's possible. If that's what we want to do, we could do that. But we're...
But it doesn't fit in right now.
Yeah, we're good right now.
Yeah.
It's always something good to keep an eye on, though, at least in maybe down the line, or,
Maybe it's a staffing question. Maybe we need to find a way to hire another person.
I think just even in existing staff, if there's things that they can do, assign them to it, it's just, if they have an interest and they want to be the one that spearheads something with your oversight, just have them do it, because I think we put more hours in for everybody next year to create more content. So if there are ideas, or if you want to try something, try it. I don't think there's, the worst thing that happens is you get a small clip that only plays a few times. The best thing is it's a great idea and it can become a recurring thing. I don't know.
So I know with the new program and the new equipment that we've had the opportunity to set up an OTT channel. Has that moved forward at all? Is there additional training for that? Are there things that we need to take a look at to get that done? Is that a priority we want to make?
It is a priority.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a winter break project.
Okay.
We have 2 weeks of no events right now. And
Right,
even though it's
after the
holidays,
night.
there can be progress in that.
Right, okay. Because I think, it's easy to get to YouTube, no problems at all, but if I can go to, my Roku or my Fire Stick or a Apple TV and have that show up there for us, and I can search that out directly, then, that's something that we can do.
That's even better.
Right. It's just one more way to kind of get into it, so, and especially if it's already included with, what we're paying for, so that would be great for us. Any goals or plans for anything update-wise in equipment side of it, or we are pretty steady there? And anything that you wish list or those kind of things that you looked at?
Nothing major, minor, maybe minor little things, but no, immediately no.
On the line, do you guys have anything you want to add to it, or you want to send me an email later with thoughts and ideas? If you have any. If not, that's fine too. We don't want to put you on the spot again. This is open for change at any time here, so. And I know we talked with Travis already about getting some direct connections from the school district to
Right.
just kind of beef up the stream side of things for us. And I think that's a pretty good point on that, to maybe move down to the next. I did see Whitney forwarded the social media and website update information. I think everybody maybe got that, so.
I have that.
Okay. One thing I noticed on the schedule that she sends out, still saying the charter schedule instead of the Spectrum schedule. So, if you
Okay,
look at the top header, it says charter channel instead of Spectrum channel. So I know it's logistics, but
That's
that is the
good.
company, right? So, in that little weekly graphic
Yeah.
that she kind of throws our way. So we may want to just have her
Good to know. Yep.
catch that. Not that they're ever going to come back and say, hey, you labeled us incorrectly, but.
But it shows we're keeping up with the times.
Right.
Actually, so I really like that. Is that something that, who's going to reach out to her?
I can reach out to her.
Oh,
That's
you
not a
will?
problem.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not an issue
Okay,
for me,
sure.
but I didn't know if that was done in through us, or she was just sharing it, or how that was developed.
I think
so.
she's just sharing it
Okay.
probably.
Okay. Other than that, social media wise, it's been pretty steady, and website update as well too.
Things that we've grown to expect, that during a month where there were fewer sporting events, there are decreases in Facebook activity and Twitter activity, and on the YouTube page. And as we discussed previously today, most of the drivers of the activity that we have are elementary school events and high school events.
And where do we feel where we're at on the temperature of our Twitter stuff? Is that being beneficial for us? Is it creating what we need? Or is there another platform that may be more video content based that might be best for us? I'm thinking like Reels on Instagram, which is those, 10-second, 30-second videos that you can put up highlights of things, which you can't do on Twitter.
Right.
Kind of like TikTok's competitor a little bit.
Sure.
So,
Well, Twitter had 179 profile visits and 645 total impressions. You
so
know,
it's driving, right?
So it's not zero,
Right.
yeah.
Let's keep an eye on those two,
Sure.
it might be something. And we've kind of taken our attention off the Twitter side of things for us, just because, we're more of an image-based kind of thing more than anything. So
Sure.
that's why we focus a little bit more there than Twitter, which is just more text-based for us, so.
For our social media, is there a formal ask we would like to make with the city of Ripon Facebook page to share it every once in a while? Our Ripon channel? Is that something where?
I do once in a while, it's just
Yeah.
whenever I see it.
So do we need to make a formal ask, or I guess you'll just, when it makes sense? Would it be helpful to you if we had something, or?
You can formally ask it, but if I don't see it,
Right, right.
I guess that's my point.
It's just-
Okay, let me take
I-
a step back. Hold on.
I-
What I meant by saying a formal ask is, should we have it on someone's staff member that they send something to the city to say, hey, this would be a nice thing to share? Maybe that should be part of someone's role.
Realistically though,
Perhaps.
Jolene, if we do it right, if we just tag the city in it, it's gonna show up in their stuff. So that's an
There
ask
you
to
go.
Whitney,
There you
Yeah,
go.
I think,
Right.
more than anything.
Good point.
So,
Yeah,
if we
it
tag
doesn't,
them.
but it gets lost in the weeds.
Well, sure, yeah,
It just
because the
gets
other
all
one's out there.
crap on
Right.
social media, and it's
Right.
mostly just Facebook based.
Okay.
Whenever I see something, I share it, particularly common council meetings. Quite frankly, I'm not gonna share a concert from the school on the city of,
No,
it just doesn't, that's not what we're there for. The school district can share those things, I think, and it's more appropriate. So anything more government related, I try to monthly keep an eye out for and then share it. So,
That makes sense.
just so it's not,
You don't want it to become
it's just,
hokey. This is a city page, not.
you're sharing what you need as an organization need to get out.
Right.
The rest becomes just noise for people to want to ignore. So, I mean,
Can't
common
disagree.
council meetings generally are what we share. And then maybe some other meetings.
I'm good with that. Yeah, completely understand. Completely understand. All right, any other thoughts for social media website? Okay. We have our next meeting scheduled for February 14th. Is that okay, everybody?
Valentine's
I
Day?
know, right. I mean, if you want to look to change that date, we certainly can do that if we need to. And thanks for working with me for not being able to make last week. So,
Oh, it's fine.
all right. If something comes up and we want to look at changing it, just send it my way and we'll get it handled that time. So, otherwise, any other further discussion on anything? Huh? Otherwise, I'll obtain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
All right. Second.
I will second.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Same to you.
Yeah, be well.